Welcome to the Sweet and Sassy Show podcast. I am Jen Carpenter, Secure and Savvy Solutions. I have with me the lovely Molly Lowe, LinkedIn business queen and social selling strategist, if that is correct, today.
Yes, bingo.
And you're in your lovely white, I like. So the day that we got to meet in Milwaukee last year in July, actually, hey, look at that, was we showed up wearing the same dress in two different colors. She was wearing her white dress. Mine is like a teal greenish kind of color. So that's cool that that's coming up. I can't believe we finally got to meet in person a year ago. That's wild.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, love it though. Like it's just one of those things where, part of the perks of being an entrepreneur, right, is that you meet a lot of people virtually because you can meet them anywhere, right, in the globe.
Mhm.
But it's something so special when you're close by and you get to do it in person. Which, with that being said, Jen, I'm telling you, this summer I'm hoping to come to Chicago a little bit more, so we're just gonna have to sync up there. And
Sounds good. I have not been to Lincoln Park Zoo in forever.
oh,
It is a free zoo, even though you just pay for parking. But my daughter was 9 months old the last time I was there, and she's 10 and a half. So if you come to Chicago, we could maybe do that or some other things around there. It is such, and I don't go to the city a lot either. There's so many beautiful things to see there. So this is episode number 32, being recorded in the month of June for July of 2026. We are talking about navigating transitions and change in life and business. It's past springtime, it's summer, and Molly and I were just talking about some ideas of where she's at in her business and leveling up, scaling her business. And mine also is, still doing the same thing, but lots of exciting things with a recent client that I've had and some interesting conversations lately. So we will see where this goes. And then the kids are, for me, have started summer a week ago, and Molly starts soon, and just lots of different things in family, life, and business. And that's what all of this is about. So, what would you like to start off with, Molly?
yeah, I was saying to you, Jen, that I'm in that phase of scaling my business again. No, this is the second time. And the first time I was thrown into scaling my business, it was much more of a reactive kind of
Uh-huh.
scenario. I literally went from a 5K month to 20K month in it literally less than a month. And I didn't have the systems, didn't have the team members, didn't have
Yes.
anything in place because, of course, at that point you're like, oh, I can just do it by myself, right? Well, this time around, I am choosing to not be reactive. Well, though there's nothing wrong with being reactive, I think a lot of the times change is because of us having to be reactive. Scaling my business this time around is a lot more intentional. And it's more proactive, which I am so grateful for. I was just saying to one of my clients, I said, I am sold out in my one-on-one packages. All that I have available now is my group program, right? And again, really powerful stuff. Love my community. Jen girl, I've got 12 sales calls between this week and next week. And I'm like, okay, when you want to talk about scaling your business, right? A lot of it is we want that so desperately. We want to be able to scale our business. We want to grow. We want to have these, expansive growth. But I did not realize how much it took out of me the first time. So now I'm like scared, but I'm excited. I'm like cautiously optimistic. And I'm like, okay, last time you scaled, oh my goodness, it was a lot to handle. This time around, though, how can we approach scaling? How can we approach this new transition and level up in your business differently? And it's also that rewriting and the narrative that I'm telling, right? Because when I scaled my business the first time, I was a career coach still. Now I'm a LinkedIn business coach. So it's yes, coaching and coaching, but you're supporting different people in different parts of their journeys. And I have to tell myself, like, it's not going to be as crazy as it was last time. I promise you, you're not going to lose sleep. You're not going to like go insane. And a lot of this is like, okay, what did I learn that I really liked the last time I scaled that I can now replicate because I've done it already? What are the things that really caused you a lot of stress and anxiety and heartburn? And how can we approach that a little differently this time around? Because you know you're getting ready. It's now it's we're welcoming that transition, that growth, that change strategically, intentionally, slow and steady versus fast and furious, which was the first time around. So, whoo, yeah, lots of emotions there for sure.
So many things to touch on. Um, I'm just going to start with what you said about slow and steady. I like that because you did what you did before, and even though the landscape, and the environment looked different before, you can use the lessons that you learned back then to do what you're doing now. And looking back on it, you have probably a ton of systems in place that you didn't have in place a year ago or whenever that was. Um, so you can use all of that, but to know that you did it, you handled it. It's scary. We talk quite often about fear of success, fear of failure. Even somewhere else recently, it came up. Fear of success is usually like greater than the fear of failure. Fear of failure comes in and says hello quite often, but that's the one we can manage and respond to, usually like with the tools that you have. So, one of the things I was going to talk about is with everything, responding versus reacting. You already talked about that. But I think the fear of failure is the one that people can tackle a little bit easier
I would
once you
agree.
know how to do it, because it doesn't go away. That's something I talk about often too, is that, we're not unshakable. There is not, the fear doesn't go away. It's going to keep coming up. Can I embody the essence of my energy? That's the words I've been using I say too, to strengthen my capacity for what I'm about to do. When we work together, when you do what you do, you're strengthening your um, tolerance for stress and success. I might have said that in the last video too, but I think it's worth repeating. The fear will come up. We can navigate that. Fear of success is even bigger because it's like, can I hold what I'm building? Can I still take care of me? Can I still be the wife or the husband? Can I still be the mom? Can I still hold on to the capacity of what is required for my clients? So I'm learning quite a bit about the topic of under promise, over deliver, and the value of what you provide. So, I have a group space and I was going to originally offer that at a lower rate for the first, 5 clients. Now that I have a client and another one in my online community, I understand why it's very important to charge the full rate. Now, that also comes with me sort of having a tendency to overgive. And
Mm.
it's all things I've learned. You're at a very different space than I am at in my world, even though we come from very similar worlds. Corporate world, leaving corporate world, 18 to 20 years, having a family, having a partner. I'm now the sole provider with 2 children. Very different worlds, but very similar concepts that we're navigating, these transitions and changes. So, most importantly, I'd say, like, what I'm getting at is that honor your commitments to yourself as you're scaling your business. Stay committed to the things that got you there for yourself personally. And, you want to be, as I say, present and productive. You've got a family, you've got a partner. That stuff is the stuff that really matters that we want to hold on to as we're scaling and expanding. I still have a strong tendency to overgive. Being said, I have a group space and an online space. I decided that one of my favorite things, too, very powerful. I decided, because if you acknowledge it and you have the awareness about it, it's so empowering and aligned to be able to say, I decided. That's a takeaway in its own. Um, that the first 2 weeks of being in my space, depending on where people come from, they need more support than just my once a week meeting and the online space if they're not in my one-to-one program. That's where the deeper work goes in the one-to-one program. So I decided charge full rate, and they need two 30-minute phone calls the first 2 weeks because they need extra support, and I can't be available 24/7, which I already know that I don't give, like my full program, I'm available all the time. There's value in that, having access to me. But I was like, oh boy, they need a lot of help these first 2 weeks. So again, I decided, okay, let's go with our full rate and then offer these two 30-minute sessions for the 2 weeks, under promise, over deliver, but still at the same time honor myself because I know the capacity of my program. My goal is to have 8 people in my group space, and it's a maximum of 5 in my one-on-one program. I know that, but I cannot handle the capacity of that if I'm not charging full rates and if I'm not taking care of myself. And then just because I'm going to add one more thing here, I have put a lot of things in place to get where I am today personally. Now, I had a little goof up, my problem, my fault. I don't have medical insurance right now. I made a error. They refused to work with me. They won't reinstate my policy. It's my fault, 100%. Something wasn't fully clear, but I knew what was going on. But either way, I don't have medical insurance, okay? So, number one, that's hanging over my head that if something happens to me, I have 2 kids, I don't have medical insurance. I need to take action to take care of that. I got to get back to that. Very, very important, urgent and important to take care of. When you decide what's important, you need to say, is this urgent or important? If it's urgent and important, it needs to be addressed. I don't have my Cairo massage right now that I've had, and we've talked about. I've had these
Yeah.
massive shifts since October of 25.
I'm like, message shits. Okay, cool too. That's good.
Shifts from October of 25. And I put all these things in place when I had this very big shift this past year. Cairo massage like every 3 weeks since then. And then, I haven't had them in a few weeks. No, 6 weeks. Started getting my eyebrows threaded. Like all the things that I didn't do when I was a wife. And I do all these things now for myself that I didn't even get or do as a wife. Okay. I don't have these things in place right now for various reasons. And I'm falling back into the old ways of thinking and the old ways of feeling that we call slippage, slipping back into the identity of who you were before. It's so important to sustain those things because I cannot hold the capacity of all that I do if I don't have these things in place. So I say that's how important it is. And I'd be in a totally different place now had I put these things into place 5 years ago. If I took care of myself, my mind, my body, my soul, my hair, my eyebrows, little things that I had pushed aside for so long as a wife and a mom, I'd be in a completely different place by now than I am right now had I done this 5 years ago. So that's my whole point of that is under promise, over deliver, and honor yourself and stay committed to the things that got you here because you can't sustain it if you don't keep those things in place.
Yeah, I love that. It's when you say under promise, over deliver, it's very similar to what I say to my clients all the time. Do something that's low lift for you. It doesn't mean that you're not trying, you're not giving your low lift, high impact.
Yes, I like that.
Right? Because a lot of the things that we do in our specialty comes really easy to us, right? What's something that how can we repackage, share, whatever it is that we do about our level of expertise, right? I just had a strategy call with someone and she's like, oh my gosh, it's like, I talk to you for 20 minutes and you give me 5 places on LinkedIn where I can find leads. I'm like, yeah, because it comes really easy for me. I've done this for a while, right? But that is such a low lift thing with high impact for her though, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I love that. And, I love that you talked about going kind of the slippage, right? Because, it's funny. We as entrepreneurs, especially the ones like us that are really prioritizing our mindset and the way that we think and the way that we see the world and how we show up in that world, sometimes even for me, I think, oh, well, I fixed it. And then, our subconscious mind goes right back into it. And in this moment of scaling my business, it's interesting because my subconscious mind went straight to, oh, see, be careful what you wish for.
That
Careful what you
line,
wish for,
that
right?
line.
Right. And then my higher self voice is like, well, yeah, but guess what? But did you die? But did you die? No, you didn't. And now you know better, so you're going to do better. So, like, it's okay to still wish for bigger, better, bigger things. It doesn't need to have that fear attached to it, right? And so it's so interesting how that slippage sometimes happens subconsciously, and I find myself catching myself slipping. I'm like, no, 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 and literally, I one of my Canada's clients, we were joking about it because again we were having a strategy session, and I said to her, sometimes when my subconscious mind likes to or tries to take over and sabotage that thought, I literally have to tap my forehead like,
Hey, whatever you got to do.
like, yeah, we're not doing this. We're not. No, because you didn't die. You survived. You learned a lot. You know a lot. Now you get to apply the things that you don't do know. And you'll be okay. This is going to be great, right? And it's okay for us to want the grander, bigger things. I have been, you know how the universe just drops different things. You know how you like hear the same type of theme over and over again? And I know you and I talk a lot about this on our episodes. So I've been hearing the word luxury.
I have two. I have two. Wait, the first thing one of my clients said was that she said it felt like a luxury to actually take a 1 hour break. And I said, that's not supposed to be a luxury. You can say it feels luxurious, but it is not supposed to be a luxury that you take a 1 hour break and you only focus on you. But that's great that it feels, I want you to feel that in your body. You're supposed to feel that feels luxurious. That is amazing.
Yes. But to your point, that's exactly it. Is I saw a TikTok video that was talking about luxury, and then I saw another thing, and then I read something, and someone had a post on LinkedIn about, luxury. And I just thought to myself, okay, I got it. Thanks, God. Thanks, universe. Noted. My life is meant to be unbelievably luxurious.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
way that we do that is to allow for your own self permission to want these greater, grander things so that your life is luxurious. And yeah, it can be scary, but like I think that it matters to how you really think about these times of change, right? 'Cause let me tell you,
Totally.
scary as hell because I've been burnt when I scaled the first time around. And it wasn't terrible, but if you allow for that, because that's what your subconscious mind wants is to cling on to the past of like, oh, are you sure this is what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
And no, I deserve luxury. I
Yeah.
deserve to feel luxurious. I deserve my business to be at this point where I get to serve, right? Low lift, high impact
Yeah.
with a higher, broader reach. And so, yeah, that's
Huge,
where we're going.
huge, huge. I have a few things to add, and that is just so empowering. That's kind of why I'm sitting with it for a bit, because if you can tackle that, then great things are happening for you. Like, I just am sitting with it because that's probably the biggest barrier that people have is shifting back into your old ways of thinking. And so the way that I do that, so what I was going to say is that it's when the thought comes in of where you want to go back to being comfortable, going back to what's familiar, your old ways that really don't serve you, you have to rewrite that because you said in the beginning too, rewriting the narrative. And exactly what to do when that comes up is a common one that will still come up, what I say naturally first is I'm so used to rewriting it, I have to think of the old one. Hold on. um it's usually the thought is, oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that happened. Or I can't believe that this is happening. And then I stop, wait, stop. And then the thing we say, if you make it whatever, but stop, there's a new sheriff in town. I'm in charge, basically. Or tap your head, like Molly said, or whatever it is. I now replace it with sometimes questions too. Bambi Thompson taught me that, like, ask questions. Why am I so fucking amazing? Why is my life so luxurious? I usually say that's exactly what was meant for me. Why am I questioning it? Why am I questioning, oh, I can't believe that just happened? Why am I questioning that?
Mhm.
This is exactly what was meant for me. This is exactly what was meant for celebrity Jen Carpenter. And I'm telling you that because that's exactly what you have to do in the moment. It usually is my instinct right away to say, oh, I can't believe I just landed that client. I can't believe that this is happening for me. Believe it, sister. That's usually what I say when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, oh, I can't believe it. I'll be like, hold on, believe it. Believe it because this is what was meant for you. And they're like stunned. And this is just everyday people. You know what I mean? They're not even clients. And they're like stunned. They're like, thank you for that. People need that reminder that greatness is what is meant for you.
Mhm.
And naturally, we just go back to it. The other one was, what's the worst that can happen? So Sajad has taught me this. I've heard it from a couple other people. When you get scared about what's possible for you, even though it's bigger and greater than you've ever dreamed of, and it's freaking scary, what's the worst that could happen? Your odds of survival right now are 100%. I can't tell you how many times I've said that to people, and they're like, "Oh, you're right. My odds of survival right now are 100%." And I come from the things I've experienced in fear-based thinking. So I had to learn that I constantly go to fear, and I'm not the only one. Whatever you've been through in life, you've got kids, this, that, like for many reasons, fear-based thinking is what our brain goes to very quickly, no matter what you've been through. And it's like, okay, the odds of survival right now are 100%. And another thing with that is that you may still not believe it when you say it. You know that your odds are, you're here, 100%, but you still may not believe it. So, another thing someone else taught me was borrowing faith from others. I
Mhm.
can say, if I don't believe it in the moment, Molly believes in me. And that's powerful because I already know, even though Molly doesn't know, she believes in me.
100%.
She believes that it's possible for me, even when I don't have that in my own. So it's borrowing faith from others. And another way to do that too is something that is part of what I teach, and I've shared it with other people too. Ask 5 people what they love about you and
Mhm.
remind yourself, put it in a screenshot, save it in a folder on your phone. Um, you've been through this before. I'm so proud of you for this. This is what I love about you. Just different ways of rewriting that when you don't believe in yourself or you don't have faith in yourself. Because a lot of what we're talking about is rebuilding your confidence, self-trust, and faith. I do completely different things than what Molly does, but it's all the same thing. You're rebuilding faith and self-trust and confidence no matter what you're doing in your business, in your relationship, your own decisions of what's best for you, as a partner, a wife, a husband, whatever that is. It's all the same stuff. All the subconscious bullcrap that goes on in our head. That's what we're really rebuilding is when we doubt or question or we have fear or uncertainty around these things.
For sure. It reminds me of when I first started my business and I'm looking at my phone because I needed that mental reminder, like physical reminder. And so what I did was I pulled up different quotes and things. And every day I have 365 different quotes that I put in my calendar. Okay. Oh, would you like to know what today's is? It's perfect. Fear is temporary. Regret is forever.
Oh, totally. Well, while we're at it, I have my Aldi calendar here and it says, hang on, it always does that. You are
Oh,
amazing. It's
yes.
June 9th as we record. No matter what, you are amazing. That is a great strategy. You have them in your like Google Calendar?
Yes. And so
How
every
the
day,
heck did you do that? You added it
girl,
in there?
I literally was so desperate.
Every day you put it in?
So
You did it before.
I took probably an hour or two. One, because you had to find all the quotes, right? And then I literally typed it into my Google Calendar, and it's on repeat annually. So
Oh,
it's like it's
this is
it's this,
amazing.
yeah, it's the same 365 quotes, but every single day, Sunday through Saturday, is a
I love
different
it.
quote every time.
I
And
love it.
yeah, I open up my calendar and there's a new quote for me today. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, go
So
get
I will screenshot stuff on social media. I have it saved in a
yeah.
folder, and but this calendar, I laugh about it. It's my freaking Aldi calendar, and it's year round. It's
I
literally
love it.
exactly what you're saying in your calendar on your phone, but like I get excited about it too. That's the thing. When you're going through all this stuff, and in general, when you're not used to luxury and beauty and joy and pleasure and success, you have to bring fun into your world and your life. And these little things, we might sound crazy to other people who don't get it, but
Yeah,
once you know, you know. I look forward to flipping that freaking calendar every day because it lights me up.
that's
And
right.
that's
That's
the
right.
stuff you have to have in place
That's
in
right.
order to sustain exactly what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All of the changes. She's got changes in her family, her husband's job. I got all kinds of shit outside my world. Woo! Very good changes. And then I guess I'll just close out with this actually. One of my biggest lessons learned too in the past few months was I'm talking about having fun and being excited about things. Again, Sajad has taught me this for years, but there was a particular thing, and I don't know if I've talked about it, but like I got super excited about something, but then when it didn't work out, and this could apply to anything, the lows are super low. You can't get too high, you can't get too low, you got to be in the middle. You can have joy and be excited about things, but if you get too high and too excited, like, and this doesn't work out how you expected, the lows are too low. So that's like a really big lesson learned that I wanted to share is I've heard it a million times, but until you experience it, you don't understand how important it is to stay in the middle, par for the course. I guess one more thing. My last event, Polarizing, our speaker, Shara Prophet, she's brilliant. She talked about that too, is that you want to get used to these things happening. Hang on, I lost it again. You know how I do that. I'm moving too fast. Um, how we talked about fear of success and fear of failure and how important it is to, I guess, along the concept, and maybe if I remember, whatever, same concept though, of like, you just can't get too high or too low, and how important it is to stay in the middle. But there was something she said about it that really stood out at the time. And either way, it was brought up in my world, I guess, is my point. Fear of success, fear of failure. This will come up a million times in the next 5 years. That topic will never not be talked about. It's just all how you choose to navigate it and all of that. So yeah, stay in the middle. Can't get too excited. Your brain gets too excited and then you just beat yourself up about it and the lows are too low. There was something more to it, but either way, what would you like to close out with?
No, there's nothing else to add besides, gosh, what a fantastic conversation per usual. Yeah, so timely. Love it. I think that we should encourage everyone to have some type of calendar quote that's going to help
100%.
them for the day.
Totally, totally. I mean, if at the very least, an affirmation or gratitude, you have that one that was on your computer desk forever about
Yes, still here.
what, say it again since we haven't talked about it.
I've grown my list, so I don't know which one I've
I
said
know
to you,
which one
but
it is, but go ahead.
is it the you allow
The
it by
attract.
expecting it? Yep, you allow it by expecting it, by believing, and then letting it go.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yes, that is it. It has to do with allowing and accepting. That
Yep, yep, that's the
that's
one.
the one. Oh,
That's the
letting go.
one.
We could talk about that for a whole episode too.
That's
That's a
right.
huge one. Well, stay tuned for next time. Jen Carpenter, Secure and Savvy Solutions. Please connect with me everywhere on social media, not just on the YouTube channel here. And then Molly Lowe, definitely connect with Molly on LinkedIn and Threads, I believe. Anywhere
Yep, that's
else
right.
these days?
Nope, those are those two. Those are the two.
Man, she is just killing it on, I love it because I have never ventured into Threads still, or whatever the hell all these other things are. I don't know what Lemonade is. I don't even know
Oh,
what that is.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have no idea. So either way, Please leave a comment below if something stood out for you. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel. This is on my YouTube channel, John Carpenter Secure and Savvy Solutions. And then Molly also still has an ongoing podcast on Spotify and all that, A Tall Glass of Sass as well.
That's
Is that
right.
on YouTube too?
No, it used to be,
That's what I thought.
but
Okay.
yeah, but it's on Apple Podcast, or I'm sorry, Apple and Spotify,
Apple and Spotify, and
and my
we
website.
and her website, and we share some of these occasionally there as well. So please
Ooh,
follow Molly, A Tall Glass of Sass. And that was already established, might I add, before I started my podcast and called it the Sweet and Sassy Show. So
yeah,
let's talk about alignment. So, all right,
100%.
until next time, hope you got some value out of this. Share it with a friend. Have a super awesome day.